disable mid-game.
It's ready.
I definitely don't take character goal. I think the rest is good. But if you remember that game, I think the Willow took a really long time to come online. You're playing against Gaimin more pressure so early. I don't think you can be one hero down the way they were for so long. Like you see so many items come online, and it really was a case of like rest of the LGD really like carrying the game to the point where Shiro could take part.
Yeah, because the timing is level 20 for little characters, so we get more version of W, so a lot of the time when we talk about the hero, we're playing for level 20.
Ten seconds. 5 seconds left.
Still focusing on that Dazzle, that Chen Enchantress, like you said, Gunnar, if you're going to take one out, take both of them out. So that's their 3 bans, and it opens up the Muerta for them to be able to get their hands on.
The cool thing about the Muerta is, we were talking about the Necrophos, and so
10 seconds.
Thankfully, if Muerta ends up being a carry, she's really good, because she can shoot him no matter what if he's Ghost Shrouded.
5 seconds
So it's kind of already like a soft counter to the Necro later in the draft. And it's also, I think it's one of the better
Dyer's
carries versus Chaos Knight. He can burst you through your ult, so you have kind of a way to fight around him.
Yeah, I've seen this matchup go both ways. Obviously, because Muerta is very dependent on her positioning in fights, and Chaos Knight usually goes for this like Silver Edge and stuff. He's going to be seeking her out. If they do find her, I mean, the burst is insane. Muerta is quite squishy without her ult. Then Chaos Knight, in general, just this patch is so strong. His laning is terrifying. Like I wonder if we'll see Grimstroke contested again going into the second phase.
But Boom had the flex with Chaos Knight yesterday. We saw it was able to go carry off lane for themselves. Is that the same for Gaimin Gladiators? Or this is very much a Dyrachyo. They're okay with if this hero is attempted to be countered, that Dyrachyo can still have a really good game for himself and he'll be able to come back and do it.
I think it's mostly heroes for Dyrachyo because it's already very strong lane, and it's the hero he excels and it's very aggressive as well. And it allows Celery to pick heroes that are not really needed for the lane because it's already like very self-sustainable, so he can do his things with it off and like run around mid lane, help Queen.
So something I'm interested in is Naga Siren. I think this hero is pretty strong, and she's really good versus Chaos Knight, either in a lane matchup or just in the game as a carry to carry. Her illusions pretty much do the same thing as Chaos Knight's, where Chaos Knight will just use his ult to push out all the lanes the whole game, and Naga does that for free with a much lower cooldown. So she's always ready to fight. She can use Song to disengage from the Chaos Knight ult, and they also banned the Brew for gaming. So if I was LGD, I'd probably be looking at a Naga at some point in this draft.
And I'm sure GG is looking for another Lone Druid game. I think it will fit their lineup very well.
They want to keep picking their comfort. It's gotten them this far. It'll keep them going. So I don't think gaming really feels like they have the need to change anything.
10 seconds.
If they get 1 to 2 of their just stable heroes every game and they just change the rest around to just fit it, I think it's kind of the formula.
I was very shocked that, maybe not very shocked is the right word here, but I was surprised LGD, they went hardcore still on the support of the Phoenix and the group being that fair. Does still leave that Dark Willow open for Gaimin Gladiators to pick up, but their response is Magnus ET.
Yeah, I think teams consider ET like one of the counter picks to the CK nowadays because it stops the illusions, and along with the Magnus as well, you have their AoE RP, and there's also like one of the best nothing to say heroes, so they're looking pretty good already.
And he was also one of the first people to actually start spamming it in pubs a few weeks ago. He honestly, not to hype him up too much, but I would say he probably started the meta in pubs a few weeks ago, just like spamming it offlane every game. And around that same time was when, you saw everyone just starting to even play it mid. But he's also really good on it in the offlane, so I wouldn't be surprised that they just have this as a flex pick. And if Quinn tries to counter it right now, that it can just go to the offlane and be comfortable versus a Chaos Knight.
Oh, there's another ace hero that he excels at. I thought they would go for the Lone Druid, but Wraith King is also quite nice. It's very stable, very solid. They like to play with the 2 cores in the side lanes, so...
I mean, they had it earlier in this weekend as well, and it was a part of that push strat that they had. Those skeletons can be very annoying and obnoxious.
I think everything right now, though, is leading for Naga Siren for LGD. This is looking really scary unless this next pick kind of counters it, which I don't really know what they can pick outside of a Pugna to prep for it. And if LGD get a Naga, I think the draft looks pretty good for them. They'll have a way to constantly get vision for the Magnus. ET also gives vision. They have sleep into, you know, net and sleep plays, so they just have a lot of kind of utility with the Nagas on across the map.
I like the Naga suggestion for sure because it can delay the game for them. And I was suggesting this Prophet, yeah, I was seeing it coming. And the Naga.
For the team.
Yeah, that Prophet pick was like, that just made Naga even better.
So they take the Furion. I really like this versus strong laning 5s like Elder Titan, because what happens is the Furion goes to your safe lane and kind of exists there, and he's always a 3v2 in the top lane. So anytime ET wants to go aggressive onto this, the safe lane, the Furion will TP in now to 3v2, and the ET's not as strong of a hero.
Well, last time I saw this Prophet, I wasn't really a big fan of because it looked like very squishy during the mid game, but the way GG are playing, this is such a huge tempo, and you know, this Naga, like we've seen many times already, like this Naga is not gonna be able to come online even after, like, you know, they're pushing your high ground at 20 minutes.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, thankfully for Naga, one of the cool things is the games are really boring to play when you're the other team because she just delays it. So if there's one way to stop Gaimin from pushing your base, it's to cut all 3 waves at the same time simultaneously and be completely safe because you have Song. So Naga is one of the ways that you can pretty much delay a game. It's kind of like probably a more consistent version of keeping it away just from the carry role. So already right now I feel way more confident for LGD to take this game into the mid game to the late game to where they're more comfortable taking the win.
Dude, I'm terrified for Gaimin. Like, how do you ever take high ground when you're playing into ET, Stomp, you're playing into this skewer back, you have a Naga that's gonna cut your waves while they're holding you up like that. It seems so difficult to ever breach high ground without just killing the entirety of LGD.
It's so easy when you're doing it this early. Yeah, I thought that too for their previous draft, but they seem to be make it work, you know, somehow. Just purely from winning lanes and making these aggressive moves in the mid game and like taking complete lead because of how stable their mid game is.
I think as long as this last pick for LGD, either mid or off lane, has some sort of wave clear to deal with the skeletons that are going to come and kind of help defend the tier 2s when they're actually sitting there in front of you, I'll be really happy for LGD's draft.
Oh, there's no way to play Pango, and they beat Pango, alright.
Well, there's their matchup. It gives them also a team fight to fight on the towers. I really like this matchup versus Raid King. You one-shot the skeletons, you burn his mana before the shard. So I really like the LGD draft. I think it's much better than what they had last game. They also kind of don't have the ability to get countered as hard. So I feel very good for them. And I'm curious as to what Quinn will play. This is, you know, he knows Pangolier.
Yeah, is it another Huskar game for him? Just purely of like how they can snowball after this game?
I'm not too sure. I think there's probably a Queen of Pain angle. I think Queen of Pain scales really nicely versus Naga Siren. Also, there's not really stuns that he has to worry about. It's only the root from Naga Siren. And so I think Queen of Pain kind of has the mobility. Also, it ganks really well with the Furion. They can set up everywhere across the map. He just needs to now deal with the Naga Siren and have a stable lane versus Pango as his 2 big goals.
I just really believe in the Huskar. I think you can allow to have 2 melee heroes against Queen and not ban the Huskar in the last pick. I think he's choosing about it right now. He's thinking about it.
He's worried. He's telling him, like, don't worry, man. He won't Huskar. It's all good.
Trying to ease those nerves. Don't think about it. Don't think about it.
Oh, you're right. That's a good opinion. Nice suggestion.
I think he does check all the boxes for Gaimin Gladiators, but it's kind of... again, I'm really scared of this Naga. I thought the second that they picked Chaos Knight, Naga was going to come out at some point in the draft. And so, if anything, I would give LGD an edge right now.
All right. And what about yourself, Sheep?
I think Gunner's popped off.
That's true, you kind of predicted everything.
Yeah, he really did.
Sorry.
No, it was great.
Never apologize.
I agree, though. I think LGD have the stronger draft. I think this Pango throw everything together. That was a hero I was thinking of for Gaimin to help deal with the Naga, but them just sweeping it, I think it just solidifies their draft. I think their high ground is way too scary to go into as well.
So even if we focus Naga's lane time and time again, Gunnar, you think that shutting down isn't enough to build into Gaimin Gladiators, that everyone else on the side of LGD will be able to make space?
Yeah, I think she got picked into pretty much Raid King and Chaos Knight, which are the same hero that she'll excel in the lane. They don't really have a way to clear the illusions that easily, so her lane should be fine. She can honestly be left alone after 4 or 5 minutes, and her game will be good. The biggest thing is whether Quinn can get a lot of work done in this mid matchup is kind of the way that GG wants to play, is bring stuff mid. Quinn's going to outplay the enemy mid laner and just go from there.
I'm just worried about supports on the LGD side, like how they're gonna protect the Pango from the, you know, from being a runover with the Queen and supports.
All right, we'll keep our eyes on mid. We'll see how impactful this Naga is, and we'll see how confident LGD are feeling about their draft.
I am joined by Xiao8 of LGD, and Helen will be helping me translate. Xiao8, you have played at countless TIs, you've coached countless TIs, you've won TI. When you are looking at this tournament, is there any one thing that's unique about this international compared to others in the past?
小八想问一下，你打过那么多届 TI， 也教练过那么多届 TI， 然后自己也赢得了 TI， 想问一下这届 TI 有什么特别之处吗？
就很久没来西雅图了，感觉西雅图回到了很熟悉的感觉。
It's been a while since I've been in Seattle, so that familiar feeling is coming back.
I'm happy to hear it. But how about all the fans who are watching across the world? This may be your last game. Is there anything you'd like to say to them to get them excited that LGD is going to continue fighting?
现场和全世界那么多的观众都在支持你们，这一把游戏你有什么想跟他们说，让他们热情起来的吗？
这一把弄死他们。
We're gonna get them.
They're gonna kill. Let's get ready for game 2.
There we have it, some good words of confidence coming into this game 2 here for LGD up against Gaimin Gladiators.
Some good words of confidence coming into this game 2 here for LGD up against Gaimin Gladiators. A hard-fought game 1 from the top, but they weren't able to do it. Gladiators pulling through in that first game. Here in this game 2, what do you think about the change ups? I'm seeing already the fact that LGD have got Shira on this Naga side. If his Manta play was anything to go by in the last game with the Luna, you've only got to imagine what he's going to be able to do on a Naga side.
Yeah, it feels like two very different style drafts versus each other. Very fast-paced draft, Gaimin trying to just take advantage,
they're trying to just
slam these lanes in particular mid.
Trying to slow things down,
for his
and if
Queen
they
of Pain,
can,
of course. They're trying to just snowball the game out of control. LGD trying to slow things down, and if they can, they'll draft the supreme. If they can get to these later stages, this draft from LGD does look will reign supreme. But can they withstand the pressure? Gaimin has been the team to dictate the pace, to dictate these quick games. This could be another one they're able to set up if they set up this.
Regards to what LGD
sure, I think
supports are
some
going to be able to do
rightful
early on to
concerns from the panel as well with regards to what LGD supports are going to be able to do early on to sort of enable the other lanes, or how do you think that's going to play?
Constantly making these rotations with the teleport, that's where something there could struggle. They're going to have to like
the Nation's Prophet constantly making these rotations
already.
That's where they're going to have to like preemptively be ready for the moves. It's already right up
here. It's going to have to do that shield crash, but still the damage coming in. It's going to be first blood for Celery. The power of the Nature's Prophet already coming into fruition here with that level 1 play.
I mean, easy grab there for him, getting set up. Quinn doesn't get the last hit, but either way, does get an advantage inside that mid lane. That's the way they're going to look to play. I'm going to be just watching Celery overall. These TPs,
that's the way they're going to look to play. I'm going to be just watching Celery overall. These TPs, but are they going to be able to slow down Daracho is the question. If Celery's going to be constantly...
Chaos Knight, who usually just wins every single lane.
Talk to me more about this sort of Queen of Pain pick. We just don't see it a lot, but Quinn realizing that this is the game to pull it off. What do you think it is directly about this draft from LGD?
Realizing that this is the game to pull it off. What do you think it is directly about this draft from LGD?
Right? Just looking overall what they have. They have to commit kind of like ultimates.
Definitely limited stuns, right? Just looking overall what they have. They have to commit kind of like ultimates. There's a net and then there's a silence from Huerta. Dead shot is pretty limited. These skill shots are not the easiest things to land on something like Queen of Pain. If he's able to get that big snowball advantage.
No, he does get killed right away.
7 of the last hits on the first 2 waves.
But it gets quite rough. Those levels, once they build up for the Queen of Pain, it does get pretty difficult.
But it gets quite rough. Those levels, once they build up for the Queen of Pain.
Bottom lane, Daracho being kept very low here by the harassment from you and Planet. I mean, how strong a lane is this in your book in terms of the Magnus and Planet? I mean, how strong a lane is this in your book?
It's Universal Magnus. You always have great right click this year. I think he's been the one who actually did it first. I think they mentioned
great right click this year. I think he's been the one who actually did it first. I think they were mentioning Daracho.
I'm going to hold back new.
I feel like this hero always has potential in the off lane just to make so many outplays.
I feel like this hero always has potential in the off lane just to make so many outplays.
I like this lane a lot.
Shockwave into skewer plays. Overall good base damage to get last. I like this lane a lot. Quite a bit of attack speed slow too, so even if they try to like turn and fight you,
really tough to fight
and you have this calling down, both abilities of course slowing attack speed, it's really tough to fight versus.
The top lane of YU Smile on the Elder Titan, a pretty good game for ET to combo with some of his teammates.
On the Elder Titan, a pretty good game for ET to combo with some of his teammates.
As well too, two of the best wombo combos.
It's all about stalling, right? Stalling out the games. They have the Magnus as well too, two of the best wombo combos. And even the Naga,
Daracho getting punished.
same time, though, Shiro
the top
also
one I really
both
wouldn't
carries
anticipate
getting
happening,
punished
but
in
the
the
bottom
safe
one with the way that they were bringing into Dyrachyo.
The top one I really wouldn't anticipate happening, but the bottom one with the way that they were bringing into Dyrachyo.
This Wraith King has been constantly picked for this off lane, how much he's able to do in the early game.
This Wraith King has been
one of the best
constantly picked for this off lane, how much he's able to do in the early game. And Ace has been one of the best with
Definitely
it.
a matchup where you can see the solo kills occurring. As well. Definitely a matchup where
be cautious. They've got good
you can see
amounts
the
of
solo
jump,
kills
resets,
occurring.
way to back up,
Both heroes
jump
having to be
back in if
cautious.
they catch
They've
one
got good
another
amounts
low.
of jump
Yeah,
and
nothing to say, just
resets,
has to be
way to
very
back
careful
up
with how you use
and
those
jump back in
swashbuckles.
if they
TP
catch one
comes in
another
from the
low.
nature's
Yeah,
property.
nothing to say, just have to be very careful with how you use those swashbuckles. The TP comes in from the nature's property, so just net immediately.
Tofu does have the shadow around the
There's
face,
here.
and they've got back up. Celery's in, they totally break 5 lives. Don't know what Shiro gets
And
surrounded.
they've got back up. Celery's in, they totally break 5 lives. Don't know what Shiro gets surrounded. Corner this one. He's thinking out again. This is the Active Johnson chasing Warrior Smile out as well as Warrior Smile trying to back off. But the Ravens and Tofu
Bessie already. As soon as the Naga comes back, and this is going to be the long walk of shame, 30 seconds.
Bessie already. As
So
soon as
much
the Naga
physical
comes back,
damage.
and this is going to be the long walk of shame, 30 seconds, no TP. So much physical damage. The Blightstone coming in, the Raging Skeleton just hitting on him. Nothing
And Dyrachyo, even though he did die this year overall, it sustains on its own really nicely.
Dyrachyo, even though he did die this year overall, it sustains on its own really nicely. 2 points up on the Chaos Strike for Dyrachyo. Should be able to at least get the farm
to try and get back to lane as quickly as he can.
TP still on cooldowns, having to take the smoke to try and get back to lane as quickly as he
massive one is
can.
also Quinn can now go for the bottom room while Tofu checks the top one. Will up to say
A
he'll
massive
get it.
one is
No,
also
Quinn
Quinn
gets
can
it.
now go for the bottom room while
And now
Tofu
Tofu's
checks the
here to
top
back
one.
up.
Will up
Nothing
to
to
say
say
he'll
has a
get it. Nope,
swash.
Quinn gets it.
Caught with the bramble though.
And now Tofu checks it back up. Nothing to say has a swash.
It's going to get caught by the bramble
Back
though.
off as this
Still able to jump away.
And Quinn's
So
jumping
we'll
in
have
for
to
the kill.
Another dagger, Quinn, he's going to get it.
Quinn's jumping in for the kill. Another dagger, Quinn, he's going to get it. The trolls there. Gladiators finding a lot of early actions on bottom planet and knew they tried for seven, but still he didn't get pulled away from them. The
Really wants to kill, he'll get it.
And now News under tower.
The Storm's there, Direction trying to step up.
He
Now News under tower.
The Storm's there, Direction trying to step up, see if he can finish on that in return.
He might be in trouble himself.
Looking at him further grab, 6 seconds with the Storm's back up. He might be in trouble himself. Another dead shot connection from Planet into the shockwave.
Gotta Lotus.
The Storm is
Now
there
the
just
teleport
in
time
time.
to the
The
Storm,
Storm
his back up. He puts the gun in. The Storm is there just in time to progress to the Planet with the reality of it.
now why you Smart's gonna be
Celery
cautious.
keeps his grabs in the vision and still grab him back. I mean, now why you Smart's going to be cautious. Stretches and hand over Tango to start healing
standing
up.
toe-to-toe versus
New
3
even has to be
heroes.
careful with his
Again in the
positioning.
mid lane, nothing to take any
Dyrachyo's standing toe-to-toe versus 3 heroes.
Again in the mid lane, nothing to take any fully firing and Tofu as soon as he gets to the
And
mid
Ace
lane,
is now in a
back out
1v1
again.
versus the Nagasar. He's more than happy with this
And
type of
Ace is
setup.
now
They
in
have
a
to just keep
1v1
trying to move
versus the
these lanes.
Nagasar. He's more than happy with this type of setup. They have to just keep trying to move these lanes. They need to do something.
And they will Planet challenge up, make sure that this time round Zero is able to get the kill against Ace.
And look at the efficiency, 10 kills, 5 minutes.
They want to be the ones just dictating pace, getting these early
Gladiators, their
kills,
draft
getting that
definitely
lane advantage
thrives off
so
of this.
far.
They want to be the
Looking
ones
pretty damn good.
dictating pace, getting these early kills, getting that lane advantage so far, looking pretty damn
Quite
good.
the XP difference here between the mids.
War back to the mid lane is going to mean that there's going to
Through the
be
6.
quite the XP difference here between the mids. Quinn
And it's
already
right around the power
halfway
room to
through
Quinn,
the
very
6.
likely to be able to
And of
set
course
this
nothing
one
to
up.
say
Planet
yet to
has
hit
to play
his.
around
And
mid
it's
to
right
try to
around the
stop
power room
this
to
Queen of
Quinn,
Pain
very
from
likely to be
snowballing
able
so
to set
hard.
this one up. Planet has to play around mid to
They
try
get
to
lucky.
stop this Queen of Pain from snowballing so hard.
Planet will get it.
Quick pause.
Get lucky,
Get a crash.
Okay.
get it.
Quick reset here from Dyrachyo, but
Oh,
as
get a
things have
crash.
gone in this
Okay.
first 6 minutes, Gladiators
Exactly
So
what they
from
wanted.
Dyrachyo, but
explosive
as we've gone
opening
in this
really with
first
these
6
moves that
minutes,
they've made.
Gladiators
As was
Exactly what they
expected
wanted.
with the power of Celery's
explosive
Nature's
opening
Prophet,
really with
he's
these
always
moves
been
that
there
they've
as a
made.
+1.
I
As
mean,
was
even
expected
Tofu
with the
too,
power of
4-0
Celery's
and 2
Nature's
so
Prophet.
far,
He's
right?
always
He is
been there
actually
as a
ahead of
+1.
Dyrachyo
Even
on network.
Tofu
He's
too,
tied with
4-0 and 2 so
almost all
far,
the
right?
horrors
He
at
is
this
actually
point as
ahead
well.
of Dyrachyo on network. He's
Beautiful
tied
stuff.
with
I mean, getting those early kills
almost all
up
the
top,
horrors
making
at
the
this-
rotations onto
well,
mid. So far, it's
Beautiful
exactly
stuff.
what
I
Gaimin
mean,
wants to
getting
do
those
with their
early
draft.
kills
Get
up
early
top,
kills,
making the
snowball,
rotations onto mid.
keep putting that
So
aggressive
far,
posture on the
exactly
map.
what Gaimin wants to do with the
They've
draft.
kind of
Get
pushed Shiro a
early
little bit
kills,
to the jungle
snowball,
already. He has
keep
to
putting
move
that
away as
aggressive
this
posture on the
Nagasar
map.
is so early in the
They've
game.
kind of pushed
Stop
Shiro a little
fighting,
bit to the
keep it up.
jungle already. He has to move away as this
It's gonna be one of
Nagasar
those
is so
recovery
early in
games
the
for
game.
him after a
Stop
lane
fighting,
like
keep
this.
it up.
Those early deaths
Gonna be one
slowing
of those
down
recovery games for
the
him
potential,
after a
but
lane
as
like
we
this.
saw last game,
Early
LGD
deaths slowing
are
down
very good at
for the
stalling the
potential,
game.
but as we saw
Even if the
last
beginning
game,
goes rough.
LGD
Yeah, they don't
are
have a
very
Shadow
good
Demon
at
though to
stalling
create
the
those
game.
illusions.
Now,
Yes, they
even
have
if
the
the
natural
Nagasarn,
but they don't have a
Shadow Demon though to create those illusions. Yes, they have the natural Nagasarn, but they don't have a Spirit Breaker who just literally clears every single wave. A lot more difficult for nothing to say.
Losing lanes like this also, when you're playing versus something like this Wraith King and this Nature's Prophet, there's a reason the Gaimin likes to play this so much, right? You pick up the tempo so fast. So if you start having to get pushed to jungle this early on the side of LGD, these towers are going to start dropping very, very early on.
Get pushed to jungle this early on the side of LGD, these towers are going to start dropping very, very early.
Gaimin Gladiators has got, and the fact that Quinn is in the lead right now, it's not going to be too difficult for Gladiators to go for these deep movements and try and catch Shiro in his jungle.
Absolutely. They just have to watch out how far they overextend, because the way the counter initiation and everything from LGD, that's kind of their biggest drive.
The way the counter initiation and everything from LGD, that's kind of their biggest drive. If Gaimin pushes the limit too far, they have wombo combo team fights. They have massive ways of repositioning.
So far early game, exactly what Gaimin Gladiators wants, maybe even more than they could have hoped for.
So far early game, exactly what Gaimin Gladiators wants, maybe even more than they could have hoped for with Case having such a damaging start at top.
Radiant
How's
that even work?
The XP for his level 6.
He's definitely having a very nice understanding with this Wraith King playing the Nagasarn versus the ET is all about that plus armor. He's got the Ring of Protection, I believe he started with. Wraith Band right after the phase
all about that plus armor. He got the Ring of Protection, I believe he started with. Wraith Band right after this phase boot, so hard for them to really bring him out of this lane with this Naga or this ET.
This lane's trying to restabilize. Dyrachyo now able to get this free farm.
Restabilize Dyrachyo now able to get this free farm.
Stomp play to grab the wisdom, but
risky play for some sort of stomp play to grab the wisdom, but
risky play for
and he actually gets caught. It's here.
Indeed is ready with the stun.
He actually gets caught. It's here.
Indeed is ready with the stun, puts the stop to the TP, so not only not getting the chance to grab the wisdom rune, he ends up losing his life to Ace.
He's queued up the Radiance now already, so gotta have that itemization even versus the Nagasarn as game does potentially progress.
Gotta have that itemization even versus the Nagasarn as game does potentially progress. He is incredibly farmed so far.
For LGD, can they look for aggressive moves themselves, or is it just a case of them
For LGD, can they look for aggressive moves themselves, or is it just a case of them preparing to turn things around if Gaimin Gladiators start heading onto their half
The big one that usually wants to make the moves is going to be that mid laner, but when he's playing versus Queen, I think he's super shut down and new. Also, level 4 Magnus now versus the level 6 CK. Dyrachyo is perfectly fine to be left alone down here. So difficult for them to really make moves in this early game now. As they said on panel, these supports, they're kind of needed with
they say we'll get another power
they have to make moves support in
trying to set up, but it's so hard.
They say we'll get another power
They're trying to set up, but it's so hard.
Quinn is jumping away every time.
Silence from the cooling to really flip him. Outside of that, Quinn is jumping away every time.
They need like the perfect kind of change them with the rolling thunder and everything. That's why
play
they
around
wanted
mid
this
too.
swap.
They've got 3 heroes poised on the side of Gaimin Gladiators, looking to still go
Still
for
looking to
nothing
play
to
around
say.
mid too. They've got 3 heroes poised on the side of Gaimin Gladiators, looking to still go for nothing to say. 8 on Quinn.
Actually, just going to instantly smoke him, takes the point of the Sonic Wave. He wants to look to keep the pressure going here.
Smoke him, takes the point.
Wouldn't be a bad catch finding you. So we had a bit of a tough time
the pressure going here.
Wouldn't be a bad catch finding news. We had a bit of a tough time with him. Take him down.
Look at Dyrachyo's position. He still wants to dive new.
I mean, who wants to come down here to help him? TPs are going to be coming over.
He still wants to dive new.
By the Bramble, though, nothing to say. The stuns down for Dragon.
He's coming over.
Got the Bramble.
By the Bramble, nothing to say. The stuns down for Dragon. Got the Bramble, nothing to say. The Sonic Wave over the German back.
To get that pushback.
Has now nothing to say. He's got to run.
Perfect angle from Quinn to get that pushback. Stops him in his tracks.
Going in Planet, be careful.
He's going to miss the dead shot.
And it's going in Planet.
He's gone as well.
He's going to miss the dead shot.
They just can't find his place despite how hard
He's
they
gone as
try
well.
And I mean, without Rolling Thunder now, they cannot protect this tower. Top also looks to start to get pressure.
Without Rolling Thunder now, they cannot protect this tower. Top also looks to start to get pressure. Rotation from Joker coming in with ace.
Lead already pre-10 minutes gaming.
Pressure on offense, 10-3, a 4K lead already pre-10 minutes gaming. Doing what they do best.
Dyrachyo almost having his armor pretty much done already. Shiro is starting to get some recovery farm, but he's not really the one who makes plays to recover things. He's the one who has to just kind of sit back and farm.
He's not really the one who makes plays to recover things. He's the one who has to just kind of sit back and farm for a very, very long time. The fact that this offlane and mid lane is struggling so much, it's going to be very difficult for LGD to mount these defenses on these early towers.
Towards the Blink Dagger.
It's going to take time for a sort of what, just 300 gold in towards the Blink Dagger.
Very poor.
Get a bit of a beat down here by Dyrachyo.
Tier 1 in the mid lane. Standing
ready to start jungling over on LGD side of the map. He knows that there's very little that LGD can do to push back
over on LGD side of the map. He knows that
very underleveled.
very little that LGD can do to push back the
as well too. Their damage
No, it's very underleveled. Magnus still not quite level 6. The 2 supports as well too. The damage is extremely lackluster on the side of LGD. The only damage they really have is going to be coming up on the Pango right now. And this Pango is very shut down in this game. Top tower to fall.
getting a chance to step up and play here with Shira right up towards place for the tier 2.
Look how confident he is. They don't have damage for him on this point. He doesn't even have the armlet just yet.
I mean, Shira's just getting chased out completely from his jungle.
He has a wave bottom, leaves his tower. Diracho just heads back over as they take out top tower. Ace is going to have this lane. This is going to be one of the faster offlane radiances that comes out. And it's a great radiance game.
Incredibly aggressive here, push the limits.
You've got Tofu coming in from the side as well.
We need to play incredibly aggressive here, push the limits.
You've got Tofu coming in from the side as well.
Look at Diracho, he just pops a Phantasm and sends the illusion on you and just zones him out of the lane. You actually can't walk up and
could just die if he steps up a little bit too far. Just be pretty careful.
Nothing to say.
Could just die if he steps up a little bit too far. Be pretty careful.
Nothing to say. He's having to go right back under the tier 2. Cannot show face anywhere close to tier 1. Fronting down bottom, Skill's going to be towards the Phantasm. Maybe they can find Zed. They get the stone set up. Diracho's considering maybe helping out in this fight. They're over the stone. Skyway pushing back the 3 of them. It's actually giving the chance to carry the walk away.
I mean, the punk out.
He's perfectly fine. Diracho's considering diving to top with you. Nothing saying he's hit out by the stars of Tofu.
I mean, this is this time of Sonic Wave just does not affect the Pango. Works out perfectly.
This time of Sonic Wave just did not affect the Pango. Works out perfectly, completely messes with nothing to say. Pango's having no effectiveness right now. Can't even touch his calorie.
6k lead already for Gaimin Gladiators. This is as hot as a start as you can get, really.
14 minutes for Ace.
I mean, the Garlic is done. The Radiance is going to be coming up with 13, 14 minutes for Ace.
It's bound to happen. It hasn't happened much in PI, I feel like.
It's a Diracho. It's bound to happen. It hasn't happened much in PI, I feel like.
When he dies like this, the win is pretty much guaranteed. You know.
Well, as I say, when that's happened before, he pretty much always wins the game.
When that's happened before, he pretty much always wins the game. So, you know, all part of the course here for Diracho.
Things calming down for a few moments here, but Gaming have, I mean, they've hit so hard in these first 12 minutes.
Down for a few moments here, but Gaming
have, taken out.
I mean, they've hit so hard in these first 12 minutes. What more could you ask for? All 3 tier 1s taken out. You've completely shut down the Pango. The Madness, his timings are all shot as well too. They're having 3-course farming and the 2 supports as well too. Look at how farmed the 2 of them are. Neck and neck, 3,600 gold on the 2 of them. Radiance, it's going to have that way to just control the map even more and have the counter versus the Nagasar even as game progresses.
Not favouring LGD at all. See it again here. I mean, at this point, we all knew there was a high likelihood something was going to go wrong.
Again here.
And it did.
I mean, at this point, we all knew there was a high likelihood something was going to go wrong. And it did.
Tofu with a smile for that one.
Quinn did not smile.
All serious business from Quinn. He weren't
with a
happy.
smile for that one.
Quinn did not smile.
All serious business from Quinn. He weren't happy.
How dare you?
Look how aggressive they're still posturing, though. Continue just go for nothing. No space for this man.
How aggressive they're still posturing, though. Continue just go for nothing. No space for this man.
But so far, it's not helping 0-5-0.
I mean, Xiao gave him some rubs on the shoulders, but so far it's not helping. 0-5-0.
Look at this, why you smile now positioning for Wisdom Room.
They're trying to find anything that they can to get. Look at this, why you smile now positioning for Wisdom Room, potentially trying to get the
Celery's even TPing in aggressively. They're just going to take both, it seems, on the side of Gaming.
Celery's even TPing in aggressively. They're just going to take both, it seems, on the side of Gaming.
Maybe with the stun, why you smiling about this one?
Diracho actually isolated Nudes here as well.
Look at Diracho actually isolated Nudes here as well.
Nice song.
If they could get but this time,
nice song.
He's the one with the Midas, and he's the one actually making the plays happen here to bring some
Nicely done
stuff
from
back.
Shiro. I mean, he's the one with the Midas, and he's the one actually making the plays happen here to bring some stuff back.
Something finally going to the side.
And they got the win. Something finally going to the side of
Really been a happy place for Direction in these last few moments.
That area of the map, not really been a happy place for Direction in the last few moments.
Probably not a place we'll see him head back to anytime soon.
He's denying himself and also ends up getting killed up. Probably not a place we'll see him head back to anytime soon.
I mean, it's all a distraction.
He probably says, don't worry guys, I'm the real carry.
I mean, it's all about traction. It certainly seems that way because indeed he continues to match the farm of Shiro.
And this is going to be one of the slower timings I think we see. It comes out for nothing to say. This diffusal blade, it's been slowed down so much. He still doesn't have it. Still trying to keep him all the way.
Double Midas is coming up for
Midas,
LGD.
they're just going to be going for all the way to this late game here. Double Midas is coming up for LGD. He's caught. He get away.
They put the Sonic Wave once more, nothing's getting pushed back. Because the remainder of the scoring figures good. Retreat cannot afford to go into the high ground against Gaimin Gladiators. Bottom lane Derecho. I mean, he still feels just sort of super confident to play like this and just be this distraction really. Just try and draw the attention of LGD down here and away from Ace.
Sometimes over-aggressive, but either way, it's his play style. It works.
Super aggressive, sometimes over-aggressive, but either way, it's his play style and it works. Time and time again.
So fast, don't accelerate. Going straight down that pipe route.
They die so fast. That's the good of goals. Don't accelerate. Going straight down that pipe route. Self 2 after the solo crest. Just looking to fall up. 7K lead.
I think you can imagine the gaming's going to look to really accelerate things as soon as they see new. The Magnus
I think you can imagine the gaming's going to look to really accelerate things as soon as they see new. The Magnus having the Midas, they're probably like, guys, let's go. They have no chance to enter up back.
Every single time Jess is just going straight for you. Anytime you show his face on the lane.
LGD, they're playing for the super late game, right? This Midas queued up top. Gaming probably wants to keep pushing down to this tower. The lift is down.
I mean, they really did everything they could to lock him down.
Gets away. He is very big at this point.
I mean, they really did everything they could to lock him down. It just wasn't enough.
Pretty much perfect, yeah. Octopus bracelet, the magic resistance, 2,000 HP on the Queen of Pain, that advantage is going to save the game.
Been done on you.
I think they can look to make plays with the Pango and the Magnus, for sure.
I think they can look to make plays with the Pango and the Magnus, for sure.
Still, I mean, they're going to be playing for later stages, but if they can find opportunities to catch heroes that are pushed
I mean, they're going to be playing for later stages, but if they can find opportunities to catch heroes that are pushed up too far toward these tier 2s,
Panel's talking about the mana burn.
maybe even
Sometimes
surprise
the
ones
Pango
onto
can be a
something
little
like
bit of an
Ace.
issue for these race things.
Panel's talking about the mana burn. Sometimes from the Pango can be a little bit of an issue for these races.
They have enough.
Ace is going to go straight for that shard next. They have enough.
It's a huge amount of damage.
Making sure
What enough gets.
unable to finish Direct Jaw.
Does get
Sprout
toggled off.
saying well, making sure that his illusions
With this Nagasar just trying to bring things back together for his team.
I mean, he really did so much last game.
This Nagasar just trying to bring things back together for his team.
I mean, he really did so much last game, keeping going into Luna with the illusions. This very much even more perfect hero for him to play when it comes to just keeping the game going. Buying time for the entire team of
Doesn't have
LGD
to
to
worry about
stay.
that mana burn coming into play here.
That shard for Ace. Doesn't have to worry about that mana burn.
Now on nothing to say.
Play here.
They want to get something done with this play.
Looking for a player at ED now on nothing to say.
Solo RP will absolutely cut it. They'll go for the win if they want to.
About it.
Solo RP would absolutely cut it. They'll go for Quinn if they want to.
About it.
Straight in, they get the grab back. This time they're going to lock down the sleep. Pushes back in. And Quinn is able to jump away. Go with the solo wave and walk this one off. As Ace, he's considering getting involved. He starts to head straight towards them. Feeling strong with the fact that he's got that shot at Halti. The reincarnation ready to use aggressively.
They just use so much. They use their Pango roll, they use their Magnus roll too, so it's Gaming. They're going to run at them right here.
They want this tower.
Keeping up top already. Nothing to say. Got backup coming in. They want this tower. It's 300 HP.
Getting away over and over again here.
Away. Over and over again here.
They had to go for it.
A nice attempt there, though.
I mean, look how aggressive he's playing even near the tier 2. They're playing versus Magnus.
Look how aggressive he's playing even near the tier 2.
They've got the vision down.
Magnus.
They still have to do respect
It's dangerous positions here, though. That Obscura plays near tier 2. Still have to do respect on the side of Gaming.
Pretty soon if he wants to take up the
We're
echo.
closing in on the BKB timing. He's got it pretty soon if he wants to take up the
50
echo.
seconds, no RP, 28 on the Rolling Thunder top tower.
Results on cooldown, 50 seconds, no RP, 28 on the Rolling Thunder top tower.
Ace has Skeleton prepped and ready too. If you want to keep threatening it all here, maybe swing towards the mid lane. They've actually dragged the wave from mid, Duracho.
Threatening it all here, maybe swing toward the mid lane. They've actually dragged the wave from mid, Duracho. But look to keep the pressure on. taking out Shiro bottom.
They know the heroes are positioned down the bottom. Take that Naga sign. They know that Shiro was down here.
They know the heroes are positioned down the bottom. Take that Naga sign. They know that Shiro was down here.
For a second here. Ace
straight away with the stun. It's far too much damage for nothing to save to survive
through. Right, Topo and Ace menaces in this game. Topo 505, the instant Bedlam trusting his buddy.
He's been spotted, Ace.
Might be able to run into more to Shiro. He's been spotted, Ace.
Topo to the real one. He loses the action. He loses the try and turn. Topo's into the fit. He's back Shiro for now. Doesn't have to worry about losing the reincarnation quite yet. He's still got that to protect himself and go for the second round. And he'll get forced out here to split up.
Racho, lean forward, new, looking for some skewer plays. 5 seconds till it's back up.
Make sure there's no vision for LGD to play around to try for that sort of jump.
The illusions, make sure there's no vision for LGD to play around to try for that sort of jump.
They kind of force LGD all the way back to their base, getting out of their jungle with that one.
They kind of force LGD all the way back to their base, getting out of their jungle with that one, even all picking up a kill.
Continues to roll in very nicely.
Still is nice.
Trying to get this hard done on top of the Mantra, he's closing in on it.
The only scare is that the Pango just continues to have this very, very hard game same thing for the Magnus.
The only scare is that the Pango just continues to have this very, very hard game same thing for the Magnus. And the Naga Siren, even if he gets the ultimate scaling all the way to the end of this game, is he able to carry versus all this? Have great late game, but 8k lead already for the side of Gaimin Gladiators. Getting crazy scaling even on the supports that you're mentioning. Wait to see what Tofu looks to queue up because he's having such a good game. The Yule Scepter, but he's sitting on 1200 if he does want to look to go down to scaling round 2.
More and more tankiness.
There's the pipe now for Celery.
Scott the Aghanim's finished up now too. So
more and
much
more
burst
tankiness.
potential. Much better ways to clear out this Naga Siren
finished up now too. So much more burst potential. Much better ways to clear out this Naga Siren too.
BKB finished up for Duracio.
Burst potential going on the docket here.
Those last few attempts from LGD, they just haven't been able to take down this Queen of Pain 100 to 0.
Last few attempts from LGD,
and
they
Shiro's gone for the full
haven't been able to take down this Queen of Pain 100 to 0.
And Shiro's gone for the full tanky route rather than the aggressive route that we sometimes do see from the Naga Siren. Sometimes we do see that aggressive kind of playmaking style come out, but Shiro, he's just trying to build up for himself. New spotted.
There's a new further TP's coming in as well, so you can get the blink off in time. Felix is there, so he will capture him. He's trying to get back into the stun. Punish here for trying to farm in the bottom half of the map. Gaimin Gladiators, they'll be having none of it.
Kind of the name of the game though for LGD. Pull Gaimin away from their base, try to buy more and more time. No, New does die. Does force 3 heroes to make.
Yes, on the Roche now. To grab this, Ace also very close to his own BKB.
Yeah, with that kill that they got onto
Ace also very close to his own BKB.
Yeah, with that kill that they got onto New, it's all, for LGD, it's probably too difficult for them to test here anyway. Guaranteed here for Game.
Still considering his item build.
Yeah, I've still
1700 gold.
He hasn't queued it up. I'm waiting to see which one he
still
does want to go down the route of.
Yeah,
1700 gold.
He hasn't queued it up. I'm waiting to see which one he does want to go down the route of.
Quinn going for a little bit more protection, something you don't see too often anymore on the Queen phase.
Quinn going for a little bit more protection, something you don't see too often anymore on the Queen phase. But his finding duels after having his Aghanim, just that little bit of extra protection versus the calling in particular.
Imagine the game is going to look to control the map a lot more here, try to constrict this Naga Siren from getting out.
The game is going to look to control the map a lot more here, try to constrict this Naga Siren from getting out.
Cutting some waves.
Playing in the
nice micro coming out
trying to get farm in the enemy ancients.
From that Luna.
Cutting some waves. Nice micro coming out from him. From that Luna.
Honestly, as long as he's able to survive and stay alive, probably guarantee that 2 of these waves at least will be held right back onto Gaimin Gladiators half of the map. It's too easy for them to get a push going towards multiple lanes at the same time. The play from Shiro.
I'm trying something here with the RP once.
See Quinn.
They're going to try it again. This time round, do they have
something here with the
enough?
RP once. We're going to try it again. This time round, do they have enough?
That's an RP down and a splitter.
That's an RP down and a splitter.
And that time they don't even come close to
They don't have that chain stun, which they really don't have in their draft. He's going to be able to get it off every time.
They don't have that chain stun, which they really don't have in their draft. He's going to be able to get it off every time. And he's going for Kayasan, so Sanister is going to make it potentially even easier for him to get off after he's later.
The only way they can kill this Queen of Pain is if
or if they have
Quinn sort of
absolutely
blinks into
everything that
that.
comes in, like
Quinn's not been making those mistakes this game.
Or if they have absolutely everything that comes in, like perfectly with Shiro, they need everybody hitting him at the same time.
This isn't empowered Naga Siren. They're kind of giving away which the real one is.
These Shiro top.
Know that there's no
This isn't empowered Naga Siren. They're kind of giving away which the the real one is. Ace knows this is the real one.
And they're already keeping him onto the back lines as well. Shearon's going to go for the strong CP out. They're going to set for one smile. That was close though. The fear from Tofu really catching him, but LGD will escape.
Tofu's blink was actually on him there. That potentially could have been a catch on either one of these heroes. The blink was coming on the courier for the Willow, so Tofu, he made his decision what he wants to go for. This is a cool pickup too. I feel like this is more about stopping it, that initiation of the counter initiation that LGD is going for, rather than scaling for himself. He's looking to see where this RT comes, blink, get the fear off, and reset the fights for his team. So cool choice if he's able to get those finishes.
He's recovering slightly, but still 0, 6, and 0.
Hasn't been involved in any sort of positive action in this game.
Hasn't been involved in any sort of positive action in this game when it comes to kills.
He's tried, but it's just been completely stopped from Quinn. Every single time he comes in, a Sonic Wave just pushes him back and stops him in his tracks.
Plus, he's liking their chances.
So much weight right now, Shiro's shoulders.
Really feels like all of it's going to be these big plays that he's able to make.
So much weight right now, Shiro's
having a
shoulders.
butterfly,
Feels like all of it's going to be these big plays that he's able to make with his illusions. So soon having a butterfly, so he is getting quite tanky.
Warriors of the
Pretty
wood.
poor. Gaming, they're scaling on all 3 cores.
Oh, they really are.
Pretty
They really
poor.
are. Ace still
Gaming, they're
holding the
scaling
top
on all
spot
3
out of the
cores.
team. Incredible farm on this offlane raid king.
Ace still holding the top spot out of the team. Incredible farm on this offlane raid king.
Afterwards, just to enable his teammates even more so.
BKB going down the aura round afterwards.
Now they're starting to keep more and more control of the map. After they got this Aegis, they're dealing with all 3 lanes.
Now they're trying to keep more and more control of the map. After they got this Aegis, they're dealing with all 3 lanes. Celery's shown on 1 lane, Ace shown on another, and Quinn with the backup of 2 heroes shown on another one. So keeping the lanes shoved in and restricting Shiro. Getting his illusions actually out to cut these waves. He's actually been unable to for the last few minutes.
Getting the chance to hit these 2 tier 2s at the same time, definitely a concern.
Getting a chance to hit these 2 tier 2s at the same time, definitely a concern. How LGD would want to be keeping this game going.
And they can potentially even set up a tournament if they'd like to. Maybe a little bit of a risk playing versus the Magnus and Ace maybe thinking about it.
Okay, does have the Aghanims queued up. You know, it's going to be a great
Celery
option.
show what he's going to be building just yet. Okay, does have the Aghanims queued up.
Oh, he's going it past the tier 3, he's ready to sort of dive in. He's ready to see. He's going it past the tier 3, he's ready to sort of dive in the direction of the street. He's done it.
What a jump there! Celery keeping it aggressively, and Ace jumping forward.
What a jump there! Celery keeping it aggressively, and then Ace jumping forward. Yeah, Quinn gets the connection on almost everybody.
Duracho, 40 seconds left on it.
Trying to use this Aegis as much as possible. Duracho, 40 seconds left on it.
Gets himself out. They force the clip, they force quite a bit there. I mean, pretty much every single ulti being used from the side of LGD just to sustain and withstand
every single
themselves.
ulti being used from the side of LGD just to sustain and withstand themselves. Celery even does buy back at the least there.
You can see they're very confident with jumping in.
For LGD. Gaming. Any moment you can see they're very confident just jumping in.
Back in 10 seconds.
Duracho?
We'll just look to take it down the first time.
Look to take him down the first time while he is still there.
Wants to be getting turned over.
He doesn't want to quit. He's giving the shot. Duracho wants to be getting turned over. The corner is trouble. He's surrounded in the corner. He's getting blocked up by Duracho. Somewhere as well. He's up to the side of the push. Jumps in. He's going to the back line. He's taking out blood. He's used the ball as well. Shiro goes for the back side. Shiro. He's out.
50 seconds.
Nottingham with buyback gold available. GG will be able to push down his bottom lane. Maybe he can get the tier 3 of the balance of this one. They're starting to fill up with long Direction. He's full HP.
He's back to full.
They don't have their Magnus, they have no way to skewer, no way to hold this off. This Rax looking pretty
They
dead.
don't have their Magnus, they have no way to skewer, no way to hold this off. This Rax
Quinn and this
looking pretty dead,
Arcane
and they
coming
stop
into
this.
play. Now Ace.
And Quinn and this Arcane Rune, they're coming into play. Now Ace.
I mean, they're still going even for the melee Rax here. Gaimin Gladiators pushing the limits.
They're still going even for the melee Rax here. Gaimin Gladiators
Give respect.
pushing the limits. We'll be backing
Another
up.
massive
Magnus is
hit,
respawning.
13K
RP's
lead.
back
They
up.
bring down
Give
Shiro.
respect.
And Quinn with the back of that
Another
Arcane Rune
massive
kind
hit,
of making the
13K
magic
lead. They
happen. The
bring down
confidence
Shiro.
pulling forward
And
into
Quinn with the
everybody.
back of that Arcane Rune kind of making the magic
His
happen. The
itemization feels
confidence brings forward
absolutely
into
perfect this
everybody.
game.
I mean, he knows
He
they
knows
can't
it. He's
kill
playing
him.
so confident.
His itemization feels absolutely
Full heart now
perfect
on the
this game.
CK as well,
He
too.
knows it. He's playing so
massive
confident.
hit from Gaimin.
Looks to be
Full heart now on the CK
Everything
as well
coming
too.
back up for them pretty
Massive
soon.
hit from Gaimin.
Sonic Wave 15 seconds.
Everything coming back up for them pretty
It's been
soon.
so hard
Sonic Wave
to
15
really find
seconds.
a kill at all.
Now,
as soon as the song gets used, they kind of just have to reset and run, and then once Shiro gets isolated without song,
as soon as the song gets used, they kind of just have to reset and run, and then once Shiro gets isolated without song, he's just dead. They have no way to follow up to protect him.
Wait, soon to have a Shivas as well, to more and more layers for them to try to get through to bring down this quad.
Shivas as well, to more and more layers for them to try to get through to bring down this quad.
Trying to step out of their base a little bit, LGD, but trying to step out of their base a little bit, LGD, but
they keep having to just follow each other together. They have to play as a unit here versus the side of Gaimin.
They keep having to just follow each other together.
As we see there.
They have to play as a unit.
No hesitation to jump if the hero's
They
isolated.
just get picked off in an instant, as you can see there. Gaimin, no hesitation to jump if the hero's isolated.
GD. Shield ruin.
they try for the skewer
with
back.
this smoke.
Hesitations because they don't want to drop the RP because the last few times it's just not worked out. Hesitations because they don't want to drop the RP because the last few times it's just not worked out.
And even if they get in there, obviously just probably pop shield rune and we'll probably see the same thing that happened time and time before.
Shoved in, you see the lines being drawn from LGD. They're like, we need to get these lanes out.
Shoved in, you see the lines being drawn from LGD. They're like, we need to get these lanes out.
Looking for the very aggressive play here.
For the jump.
Shiro.
The very aggressive play here.
Instant play.
Jump, Shiro. Got back up.
Protect him.
Instant play.
More items to deal with that Naga. We said the Radiance is out, the AC's out for Ace. Great item for Naga. Now
with that Naga. We said the Radiance is out, the AC's out for Ace. Great item for Naga. Now Shivas, of course, coming out for Quinn. Harder for Shiro to solo carry this.
All three lanes shoved in. No space for Shiro to get out on the map.
All three lanes shoved in. No space for Shiro to get out on the map.
Roche, it's gonna be a long spawn.
Ace
just jumps in.
Goes straight for
It's gonna be a long spawn. Ace just jumps in.
He goes straight for it. Nobody was planning it. The skewer back on the side. They take the nade to the moment down. The side way back on the celery.
They have no way to get him. Celery does die.
Look how confident he is with the shield rune. No, they have no way to get him. Celery does die. That was the dieback for 60 seconds without him.
DD spawns up top.
Happy with that tier 2.
Big talents with the Aghanim's build.
DD spawns up
20
top.
talent.
Quinn gets one of those big talents with the Aghanim's build. He's got the 20 talent.
Long spawn on that rush reveal. Fortunate one for LGD, it feels like a little bit, but either way, they have more than enough time on the side of Gaimin to keep these lanes shoved in to strict Shiro.
They have more than enough time on the side of Gaimin to just keep these lanes shoved in to strict Shiro.
Scaling continues.
We're going to be able to listen in on, I believe, Gaimin Gladiators to see what they had to say about those previous moments. We're going to be able to listen in on, I believe, Gaimin Gladiators to see what they had to say about those previous moments.
We just did not overreach. The only way they can kill us is if we get like ultra scared into the turbo combo.
He's absolutely right on that one. We're seeing it the way that Gaimin Gladiators are moving as a unit. He's absolutely right on that one. We're seeing it the way that Gaimin Gladiators are moving as a unit.
Not to get the jump on multi-heroes too, right? We've seen one-man RPs, one-man skewers, one-man
Not to get the jump on multi-heroes too, right? We've seen one-man RPs, one-man skewers, one-man splitters. Just
heroes.
Full hex now onto Shiro. Opportunity for them to get that big wombo combo onto multi-heroes. Full hex now onto Shiro. A little bit more catch to potentially trip up
Quinn. He's really got his work cut out, Shiro. Had the chance to get the farm, but
He's really got his work cut out,
he do what's necessary
to chance to get the farm, but
LGD's hopes alive here in this game too.
Can he do what's necessary
to keep
is all up to him. LGD's hopes alive here in this game too?
It really is all up to him.
30 seconds. Gaimin positioning themselves for it. All 4 or 5 heroes actually set up down bottom
for it.
Dyrachyo getting closer to his MKB to be able to focus down this Naga Siren as well.
Dyrachyo getting closer and closer to his MKB to be able to focus down this Naga Siren as well.
Even if they do get caught in some type of wombo combo and stuff like that, there's the plays around it.
So even if they do get caught in some type of wombo combo and stuff like that, there's the plays around it.
LGD.
More scaling continues.
It's a tough call to make, but maybe they might feel like they have to potentially try to contest this Roshan.
It's a tough call to make, but maybe they might feel like they have to try to contest this Roshan. Very hard call to make.
Gaimin Gladiators, they're going to be coming straight for them first. Smoke up with Gladiators.
This could be totally unexpected here.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Totally
attack.
unexpected here.
The charge scouted by a tree. Quick blink.
Link is there in time.
Nicely done.
Scouted by a tree. Quick blink.
Link is there in time.
Done.
Oh, get out. Get out. So they will back up, deal with the lanes, and just keep going to the Roche.
super close to his own
Shelly will back up, deal with the lane, so his team goes for the Roche.
Super close to his
This
own
item is
items.
always super nice, just so you don't have to really like commit your hero so far.
This item is always super nice, just so
this
you don't have to commit your hero so far. He just throws the Rag Grenade, just disarms as well too, with all the bounces that it gets on with the root. So it can be really nice to just protect the heroes if they do get caught inside of a big wombo combo. As Roche fall.
Roger can play a little bit more, I mean, I'd say a little bit more aggressive, but more aggressively.
Roger can play a little bit more.
Playing a secondary life has yet to die this game.
Playing a secondary life has yet to die this game.
Energy wasn't top, there's still a tier 1 available here for backup stone. If you want to dive this, but it's a PK with an Aegis. Try and tease something out, don't get the PKB
Daracho
response.
seems like he knew that was coming from a mile away.
Nothing more.
Daracho seems like he knew that was coming from a mile away.
Radiant's top tower's under attack.
Double grab again for Gaimin.
Celery.
LGD looking to try to keep getting something up out of top, given the lanes are starting to get pushed in.
It is a lot of them out here, pretty deep on the map.
Out of top, given the lanes are starting to get pushed in.
It is a lot of them out here, pretty deep on the map.
Somebody get the pierce the veil off.
Can they really start a
But still the
fight?
damage really coming in.
Under division.
Magical bringing him down low.
Little bit of protection, but still the damage really coming in. When the magical bring him down low, not caught in the trees, quick finishes him off. LGD, they've got to get out of there.
Nice ward from Tofu, quickly places that one down on the side.
Flawless game, 5-0 and 8. It's enabled Quinn to be able to
Tofu
snowball.
also still just having this flawless game, 5-0 and 8.
Bottom, Ace able to grab this one
snowball.
out too.
80 spawns bottom, Ace able to grab this one out too. That Aghanim is
They
tough.
can play like this, just sort of split across the map, knowing that LGD
They can play like this,
can't really
just sort of
jump
split across the
anything. And
map,
if they do,
knowing
there's
that
going to be more than enough time
LGD
for
just
them to survive long
can't
enough for
jump
backup to
anything. And
arrive.
if they do,
And
there's
they've got
going
all
to be
these
more than enough
itemizations
time
to
for
deal
them to
with this
survive
Nagastar
long
and
enough
Ace
for
also,
backup
of
to
course, did
arrive.
point it out,
They've
but
got
he
all
did
these
get blasted
itemizations
with
to
the
deal
flames
with
on
this
top of
Nagastar
everything
and
too,
Ace
so
also, of
Cloak
course,
Flames
been
Radiance
pointed
is
out,
going to
but
be a
he
big
gets
issue
blasted with the Cloak
heroes
Flames on top of everything too, so
having the
Cloak
Shivas
Flames
and
Radiance is going to be amazing versus the losing heroes on top of Quinn, having the Shivas and everything too, and having Cloak Flames. Look how many of them they have.
They're just constantly being dealt with. On top of the rapid nature, of course,
Yeah, these
rooting.
links, they're just
Once you
constantly
get that
dealt
active,
with.
the cooldown also dropping
On
down
top
to
of the
that
rapid
60
nature, of
seconds.
course,
He can just throw it off cooldown.
once you get that Aghanim, his cooldown also dropping down to that 60 seconds. He can just throw it off cooldown. Keep these lanes constantly shoved in. Keep LGD inside of their base.
They're just never going to catch him.
Now with the linkage as well to another layer,
Not
trying
with the
to go
way that he's
through.
played.
They're just never going to catch him.
Pretty much
Nope.
zero
He's
mistakes
still
from
in.
him so far, Quinn.
Not with the way that he's
Flawless
played. I
game
mean,
of
honestly, it's been
flawless
pretty much
2
zero
games, to be
mistakes
honest
from him
with you.
so far, Quinn. Flawless game of flawless 2 games, to be honest with you.
Try it for it again. Smoke up. They've got to take some sort of
Try it for
high-risk
it again.
plays here
Smoke
to
up.
try and pull this game back in their
They've got
favour.
to take
Who do you
some
want to
sort
go
of
for, though?
high-risk
There's an
plays here
Aghanim
to
for 8 King as well, too.
try and
He's
pull this
taking
game back in
frontline.
their
He just
favour.
cheese
Who do you want to go
too.
for, though?
Ace
There's
just
an
walking
Aghanim
back
for
to
8 King as well, too.
He's
He's
taunting
taking
them.
frontline.
He
He's
wants
taking
to go
cheese,
for him.
too. And Ace is just walking.
He might get him blink in.
He's taunting them. He wants him to go for
They
him.
can bring him down the watch. They
He's
jump
done
back up towards
He's
tier
done it. You
3.
see the jump of the head. They can bring down the wall. They can drop back up
They can do it
towards
a second
tier
time.
3.
Quinn starts to
The
jump
base.
off the
Push him
shadow
down
strike
one.
out to you.
They can do it a second time. Quinn starts to jump off the shadow strike out to
Any
you.
sort of attempt from LGD to
Enough to
try and
hold
go
them
on Ace
back.
a second time.
Indeed, there's not any sort of
seconds.
attempt
We'll be
from
back up.
LGD to try and go on Ace a second time.
60 seconds. We'll be back up.
Initial wave starting to push in against LGD.
Initial wave starting to push in against LGD.
2 minutes. They're just under Accio.
Big neutrals found. Penta is now for him as well after this
They're
MKB.
just
He
under
is hitting
Accio.
incredibly hard.
They found
Quinn
Penta
also
is
finds
now for him
himself
as
a
well after this
Stormcrafter and
MKB.
Ace.
He is
A
hitting
Havoc Hammer,
incredibly
more
hard.
really good
Quinn
items versus
also
pretty
finds
much all
himself a
these illusions.
Stormcrafter and Ace. A Havoc Hammer, more really good items versus pretty much all these illusions.
It's rare to see the Nagasarn unable to really send the illusions out to try to get any farm, but they're
Rare
just
to
dealing
see
with them so
the
quickly every time
Nagasarn
they see
unable to
them.
really send the illusions out to try to get any farm. They're just dealing with them so quickly every time they see them.
Does not feel like an option right now for LGD whatsoever.
Getting massively out farmed.
Does not feel like an option right now for LGD whatsoever.
Getting massively out farmed. Farming 90% of the map.
Keeping everything very calm on Gaimin Gladiators.
Early
Dreadjo.
comes early, just sort of
Hit by the harpoon. They're able to pull him in, but Quinn's here with backup.
Dreadjo.
They want to get a sideway.
Hit by the harpoon, they're able to pull him in, but Quinn's still with the backup. They want to get a sideway. It looks like it doesn't really matter. They've already left later. Having to use the same to reset. It's another retreat
Is that
from
another
LGD.
four-man Sonic Wave? I feel like from Quinn, it's like every single time he's getting so many of these heroes. I can't imagine what his damage is.
It's like every single time he's getting so many of these heroes. I can't imagine what his damage is in this game, but it's probably by far the highest.
It's going again. We're going up towards the tier 4 now. The Roman Shadow Code back to that. Zero points so far. Illusions out. Jiracho. He's going to tier 3. He's got it with the set. Ace double Taking them down one by one. LGD is gaining Gladiators, taking them down one by one. Go over the hill, that didn't say he's into RBLG. The tier 4 6
What a display of dominance this last pick Queen of Pain. I mean, this
what a display of
took over
dominance.
everything.
This last
Nothing to say.
this perfect win just took over everything. Nothing to say. Anything. 0-7-0.
That is
holy crap.
one of the most
Discussed
crucial.
for Pango pickers big time in this game with how dominant and how just rough that mid matchup ends up looking on the scoreboard.
I mean, look at the damage numbers. It tells the tale of it all. Quinn, look at this. I mean, ridiculous. 36,000. How many 4-man ults can we see? How many times is he just going to stop? Nothing to say in his tracks, and the Rolling Thunders, nothing to say, did 11,000 damage. LGD tries to play for the late game, but it doesn't even matter. Gaming just controls everything, and even if it gets to these later stages, they had full grasp.
I mean, they look brilliant. I mean, as we said, we knew it from the Duracho death of the neutrals that this game was over. They always win the games like that. It's a crucial point.
I mean,
you know, from that point on, she's just not beating them. You know, Duracho, he's in full Duracho form, and he does not get stopped.
No, he does not. A flawless game from Gaimin Gladiators.
Absolutely. I mean, LGD, they had a great run, but here today, they get shut down out of the competition by Gaimin Gladiators, who are going to be moving on to that grand finals with an incredible force after the sort of ferocity that they win these two games with. Gaimin Gladiators, they'll take the series 2-0 against LGD, and are going to the grand finals.
A dominant showing from this team. They have made it all the way from the first lower bracket round, and now they're going to be playing in the grand finals in a short time. They have a little bit of time to reset, and we have some time to break down this series to talk about game number 2, because Naga could have done work, Gunnar. We saw the pick coming. We thought it was a great counter pick, but the game never progressed to a point where she had map to farm, where she could do anything.
Yeah, I think the Queen of Pain kind of popped off.
Yeah, massively.
Nothing to say, had a really rough time in the mid lane, and Quinn just showing the mid diff. He's kind of shown that the entire lower bracket run. I think every game they play, it pretty much ends up being Quinn just destroys the lane, and they just snowball it throughout the whole game.
He took that Pango pick personally, for sure.
He did.
I mean, to me, it's also the Tofu rotations, right? Because Tofu came in coming here to the mid lane twice, and I mean, this death from the right show is just hilarious. But anyways, like coming mid twice and like making that insane advantage from the mid lane starting, and like Quinn, he never died. Like this game, he played perfectly, and he was doing so much work in these fights. Like we thought Naga would be a problem, but with the way he played and how much he was like scaling and like how many items did he get, like this Naga was not even being able to do anything in this game.
And all their heroes allow them to keep pushing their advantage so hard. Like you have a Wraith King, like you want to... Wraith King can be quite squishy when he's on the back foot, right? But when you're ahead, you're able to use those 2 lives to front for your team. You're using Nature's Prophetry as the scout everywhere. You're checking back in your own jungle to make sure LGD aren't trying to farm there. You're scouting into the enemy jungle to find people to gank and kill. You're able to just keep going and going and going. And in the moments where they thought they might have had something, suddenly Gaimin are up an item. They have a BKB. Queen of Pain's able to use her ult to maybe rebuff the Pango, ultimate. Like they have so many tools from this lead early to just allow them to stomp the game.
I mean, there's also these little things that Celery does, right? You don't notice it in game, but he's like blocking the spawns with the trees, like in the neutral camps, and like denying all the farm from LGD side too. Like those little things that he's been doing on the summon heroes, they're like very flawless as well.
We heard a little bit of comments as well throughout this game. Quinn was making the call. He said, let's play in formation, let's not play scared. But how do you ensure that not playing scared doesn't result in a bad initiation, Gunnar? How do you make sure, or what was their formation to make sure every team fight was going to go in their way, that they could have the advantage?
Pretty much what he means is don't make the same mistake of the diving too far on the high ground or diving too far on that tri-camp in the first game.
Right.
Where they just stay in a ball and they just move up slowly and slowly. They take the objective that's in front of them. They don't go for more, and every fight seemed like Quinn would just delay the fight with his ult. He would just push back the Pango roll or whatever initiation there was from Magnus. And once the fight kind of starts and they get to survive that initial time and Queen of Pain gets 2 Qs off, 3 Qs off, the fight just kind of was over.
Gaimin Gladiators now a top 2 team. They're going to be in the grand finals. I'm sure they're elated. So let's hear from them in a little bit. Well, he's actually not ready yet. They want to take some time. They want to compose themselves so we can hear maybe a little bit more from you, Sheep, about the game.
I don't know. I just thought it was like so clean and nice. They never really got to their timings, and then when they were able to like skewer back, it's like you're too tanky, you're too hard to kill, you have an Aegis. Like they're playing this so carefully and disciplined. Like the fact that they stomped early, but the game still kind of, you know, dragged a little bit. It's just because Gaimin are not giving them any opportunity to throw.
It was a hidden counter pick to the Pengu as well. I didn't know that you know, this Queen of Pain is such a big problem to the Pengu during the fights, because he couldn't really roll into the fight and like, create this chaos because he was constantly pushing back. And they did a really good job of like stopping Magnus from initiation, because like it was their only chance of like getting these 2 or 3 man RPs to turn the game around, but they never had a chance to do that.
All right, well now I know for sure that they are ready. We're gonna have a winners interview. We're gonna see how Acer feels about playing in the grand finals, being a top 2 team.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, it's Ace from Gaimin Gladiators! Ace, you are the rock of this team. You are hardly ever moved by anything, but now you are going the grand finals of the International, a completely dominant year with only the smallest amount of stumbles, and now you are back. And I'd like to see, crowd, if we can finally crack this egg. Can you guys give it up for Ace and get this guy to get a little excited? There it is. How does it feel to be going to the grand finals, baby?
Yeah, it feels pretty good, but we didn't win yet, so I'm not all in the skies yet. You know, I'm still down on the ground. Still need to be focused.
Oh, that's what your team needs. Fantastic. Any words out there for your competitors, you know, that have come and gone? You guys have crushed everybody, breaking records, potentially 1 in a million in history, going from lowers to going to the grand finals and winning it. Any words for the teams that you have brutally eliminated along the way?
Sorry, boys. Maybe next time.
And of course, thank you. Coming up to the grand finals, this is a match that you guys have done many times before. How are you going to beat Team Spirit?
They are hard to crack, but we're just gonna play our game, do what we've been doing so far, and then adapt along the way, and we'll see.
We will see. We will see. A calm man. But I'm not going to let you get away with that. Are you going to win the grand finals? Coming up, my friend, I want to get you hyping up this crowd just once in your entire career with me interviewing. Hype these people up. Are you going to win?
Let's fucking go!
Let's fucking go! Go get the friends, baby! Get in there and get right. Thank you so much. We'll see them soon. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Slacks. What a fantastic interview. We finally cracked him. We were able to do it. Ace gave us all his emotion in one go that rile up the crowd to get them hyped for the fact they are going to be going to the grand final. It does mean, though, LGD, their run has fallen a little bit short. They're still 3rd place, a top 3 team. It's an amazing performance considering this org had a pretty big roster reshuffle for themselves. 3 brand new players. This was their first TI, and they went the distance, Reza. Not the whole way, but they went a long way.
I think they did amazingly, but the only thing I would like suggest them for the future, like just like, you know, think about their own playstyle, like you know, find their strategies and like not respond too much to the enemies.
Yeah, because it always seemed like this entire series and kind of the entire lower bracket is gaming forces everyone to play their game. And LGD, it seemed like they fell to it. And looking forward, there's Spirit, which I think are one of the teams that are really good at doing their own thing. Whether they're winning early game, losing early game, they're going to play their game and they're going to win. So if there's one team that hopefully won't conform to how gaming plays, it'll be Spirit in the finals.
How do you feel about LGD, Sheep? What's one of your highlights that you had over the last 3 weeks with them?
I just think, I mean, I'm just really happy that they managed to take it this far. I think like them and Azure Raid really showing up for China. You know, there was this massive gap at the beginning of the year where so many old players did retire, and we had this new players filling in, like we have now on LGD, and then, you know, some players came back, but they filled that gap really well, and they got the experience they needed to bring themselves to this TI and to perform, and so many of these players had their first lands this year, and like, to get 3rd place now at TI, like that is phenomenal. Like they should be so proud of themselves, and I really hope they take that to next year and go even further.
Do you feel like this is the revitalization of the China region, Rezo?
I think for sure they have like a lot of motivation right now since two of their top teams like in the top 3 and 4. So it's a really big boost for the region. I mean, of course, it would have helped if they won the whole thing, right? But it's still a very good result, and I'm sure like a lot of people get inspired by that, and you're gonna see a lot of more like Chinese competition coming to next year and next season.
Yeah, because they struggled, I think, the full season, but now it kind of goes to TI, and this is what matters, right? So them doing good at TI is definitely really good for the region.
Yeah, they were within the region really dominant, and then it was like that 9th, 12th a lot throughout. So I think it's a massive feat for themselves, a massive accomplishment, so they should be very happy. But LGD falling short here, but Gaimin Gladiators moving on. Do you want to talk about the Gaimin Gladiators Team Spirit matchup before we get our exit interview?
Yeah, sure.
All right, we're listening to you, so you're the pro.
Again, I think it's kind of the same story, right? It's hopefully the drafting. You have to solve this early game issues where Gaimin Gladiators wins their lanes. Quinn has won his lane, I would say like probably 80% of the games at this TI, maybe 90%, to be nice to him. And they kind of just snowball off that every time. And it's also the supports rotating. I think the supports are probably the best support duo at controlling the early game, moving around, controlling runes, ganking mid, and just the way that they always set up their silence as well. It's everything you just have to counter. And so, to some extent, what Reza was saying was you don't want to purely counter the enemy draft, but I think there's some limit to kind of finding a balance where you're doing your own thing that doesn't get countered by what Gaimin's doing.
Yeah, I'm definitely a bit worried about Laurel because Quinn is like showing like every time, like every matchup, like it doesn't matter who's he's playing against, like he's stomping the guy, and like also with the support rotations, like it's a really big problem. So Spirit needs to be ready for that and accounting for that.
You don't have faith in the growth that Lal has had over this year? He's been showing up more and more every event that we see him.
I think Lal is like so stable that if you crush him the way you crushed like Nothing to Say in that last game, right? Like I think he'll struggle to find a game, and it will be very hero dependent on the impact he's able to have. For example, in games that they're losing when he's on Conquer, he's gonna play a lot better than like when he's on his Viper. You know, just by way of the heroes, by way of his playstyle. So I think it's going to come down a lot to the draft. I really hope he doesn't get his Conquer if Gaimin want to win. I hope he does get it if you want them to win. But I do think he's good enough to like play this match easily. You know, they're in the grand finals for a reason, waiting.
Yeah, I mean
they did go through upper bracket.
Exactly, I was about to say they're coming in the upper bracket. Like they were able to stay up there. They knocked LGD down here to be then eventually knocked out by Gaimin Gladiators. What's a big takeaway from the LGD Team Spirit matchup that we had in the upper bracket yesterday that you're like, oh, maybe this is something that is a weakness we haven't seen in Team Spirit before?
Well, the biggest thing that excites and worries me is that there was a 70-minute game, which we really haven't seen Gaimin play. So either Spirit will be able to force Gaimin to play this really long game, which I would say favors them, or will Gaimin just destroy the average game time for Spirit, make it really low, and just kind of crush 3 games in a row.
Hey, we kind of heard when Ace had his winners into that they're going to keep playing in their game. Maybe it's going to be that tempo. But right now, we do have to close out this series. We want to hear from one of the